Sometimes people expect too much from us. They want us to constantly explain ourselves, to apologize for even the smallest mistake, to never withhold our attention. And if we don't, they get offended, blame us, and even begin to question our worth. And you start thinking, what else should I do to earn their approval? But here's the truth: no matter how much you explain, no matter how much you beg, no matter how much you chase after them, they will never value you more. On the contrary, they'll see you as weaker. In reality, what you need is silence. Because sometimes staying silent is far more powerful than saying 1,000 words. Just imagine for a moment, the person in front of you is waiting for an answer, waiting for an explanation, waiting for you to plead. But you say nothing. You just stand calmly. In that moment, the balance of power shifts. In that moment, you become the stronger one, because silence turns into your superpower. And now in this video, I'm going to show you why you should never chase, why you should never beg, and why you should never explain. Because in each of these, the hidden power of your silence is revealed. Stay with us until the end of the video, because once you learn these lessons, no one will ever be able to control you the way they once did. Friends, before we begin, a quick reminder: if you enjoy topics like this, subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it. Also, turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to watch new uploads. Sometimes, a person starts chasing after someone simply because they're afraid of losing them. But remember this: if someone doesn't want to stay in your life, chasing them only weakens you. Stoic philosophy teaches us that you cannot control other people's decisions. It doesn't matter how good, loyal, or attentive you are. If the other person doesn't want to stay, that's their choice. But there is one thing you can control: your own response. This is exactly where true power shows itself. Chasing after people means placing your value in their hands. It's like saying, my happiness depends on you. My worth, my peace relies on your choices. And that is a very deep weakness. Think about it. If you are constantly chasing someone so they'll stay with you, so they'll love you, so they'll choose to be with you, that person will start to lose respect for you. Because value is never found in begging or chasing. On the contrary, value is in stepping back, remaining calm, and moving forward on your own path. Picture this: you have a friend, and suddenly they begin to distance themselves from you. You keep calling, sending messages, trying to get their attention. Each time they grow colder, but you don't give up. What happens then? They begin to see you as less, because you've already lowered your own worth. Now imagine a different scenario. That same friend distances themselves, but you remain calm. You don't call, you don't text, you don't demand explanations. You simply continue with your life. After some time, questions start to form in their mind. Why didn't they react? Why didn't they say anything? Am I not important to them? These questions, that's the power of your silence. Marcus Aurelius once said, other people's behavior is not in your control, but your response to them is entirely in your hands. If you chase, it means you've reacted. If you beg, it means you've surrendered your inner strength. But when you stay calm, when you step back in silence, you send a powerful message: I'm on my own path. Your choice does not shake me. This is the strongest position you can take, because now you've taken control back into your own hands. Human nature works like this. The more you chase after someone, the less they value you. But when you go silent, when you step back, suddenly the balance of power shifts. The other person begins to think about you. Your absence creates a gap in their life, and that gap makes you more valuable. In fact, not chasing applies not just in relationships, but in every area of life. At work, if an opportunity isn't given to you, don't beg for it. Keep developing yourself. In friendships, if a friend constantly distances themselves, don't force them. In relationships, if someone doesn't want to stay, let them go. Remember, not everyone is meant to cross your path. Not everyone is meant to stay with you until the end. But you must never abandon your own path. That's why you should never chase. Because everyone you chase takes away a part of your strength. And everyone you don't chase becomes a witness to your power. Your silence is your greatest message. It says, I have chosen my own path. My worth does not depend on your choices. And standing in that position, that is true freedom. Another thing that lowers your worth in relationships is begging. Begging is the greatest compromise a person can make with their own dignity, because every time you beg, you place your power in someone else's hands. What is it you really want? You want the other person to stay, to be with you, to choose you. But remember, a person should come only by their own choice, not because of your begging. The Stoics said that freedom means being free from need. So when you tell someone, choose me, you are already showing that you need them. And need makes a person a prisoner. If you want to be free, you must completely erase the habit of begging. Imagine begging someone to stay. You're afraid of losing them. Maybe you even give up everything just to follow them. But what happens next? That person stays, but they never see you the same way again. Because in their eyes, your value has dropped. Because the message you've sent is, I will do anything to be with you. Even put aside my own pride. But life teaches you that such a relationship never lasts long. The more the other person sees you're begging, the more they drift away, because no one values what is begged for. Epictetus once said, if something is not in your control, it is foolish to desire it. Whether someone stays by your side is not in your control. They have free will. They must choose for themselves. What is in your control is this: holding yourself high, staying calm and never forcing. If a door closes, you shouldn't try to break it open, because maybe behind that door, there is nothing waiting for you. Life always shows new paths. But as long as you keep begging, you waste time standing in front of that closed door. When you don't beg, people look at you differently. They realize you don't depend on anyone. They see that you are strong enough on your own. This stance is an incredibly powerful psychological force, because you are not saying, if you don't choose me, my life is over. Instead, you are saying, your choice defines you, but my worth is not measured by your choice. And these words can be spoken without speaking at all, because sometimes silence is stronger than 1,000 sentences. You know, many people choose to stay in love or friendship through begging, but it always backfires. The more you beg, the more the other person pulls away. The more you say stay, the more they want to leave. But when you remain calm and continue on your path, doubts begin to form in their mind. Why didn't they beg? Why didn't they try to stop me? Am I really not that important to them? And sometimes those thoughts are the greatest power of all, because without saying anything, without asking for anything, simply through your behavior, you've shown that you are not dependent. So never beg, because begging belittles you. It strips you of your strength. Those who want to stay will stay. Those who want to leave will leave anyway. Let this be your greatest stance. I am strong enough on my own path. I do not need anyone's approval. And believe me, this stance is the most powerful magnet in friendship, in love, and in life. People are not drawn to your begging, they are drawn to your silent strength. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to explain themselves to everyone. They think the more they talk, the more reasons they give, the more the other side will understand them. But the truth is the opposite. Those who don't want to understand you never will. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone thinks badly of you, that is their problem. In other words, it is not your job to change what others think of you. Your only job is to live your own life. Every time you try to explain, you put yourself in a defensive position, and the other person becomes stronger because you are trying to prove yourself. In fact, that carries a hidden message. My worth still needs to be proven. I need your approval. But remember, explaining often cheapens your value. A truly strong person doesn't show strength through words, but through actions. The Stoics used to say, actions are stronger than words. If you are a good person, you don't need to explain it. Your actions are enough. If your intentions are pure, you don't need to prove it. Time will show it. The less you explain, the more power you preserve. Because silence is sometimes the strongest response. People expect you to speak, to defend yourself, to prove yourself. But when you remain silent, they are left confused. And the message of your silence is this: my worth is beyond explanation. Those who want to see will see. Those who don't never will. By not explaining, you influence people in another way. They become unsettled by your calmness and confidence, because not explaining is in fact a demonstration of strength. It means you fully trust yourself. The more you explain, the more gaps you open. People ask more questions, they create more doubts. But when you stay silent, the gap remains in their mind. They search for answers within your silence. In friendships and relationships, this happens all the time. You take a step, and the other person twists your intention. You start explaining, I didn't mean it that way, my true intention was this. But you see that no matter how much you talk, nothing changes. Because that person never wanted to understand you. Now imagine another scenario. You say nothing, you simply remain silent. After a while, that person begins to wonder, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I went too far. This is the impact created by not explaining. That's why you should never explain. Because explanation is often just wasted energy. Those who want to understand you will understand anyway. Those who don't want to see your side will never see it, no matter how much you talk. The strongest position is this: respond with silence. Prove yourself through your actions. Show your strength through your calm. Remember, an intelligent person never spends hours explaining themselves to justify their worth, their life, their actions, and the path they choose. These are the greatest answers on their own. Silence often does what words cannot. Because words, the more they multiply, can lose their value, while silence always carries mystery. When people see your silence, they start searching for answers within themselves. Why isn't he speaking? Why isn't she explaining? Why isn't there a reaction? And all this occupies their mind, even though you haven't said a single word. This is the greatest power of silence, influencing without speaking. The Stoics said that the strongest person is the one who masters their emotions. True wisdom lies in self-control. Silence is a manifestation of that control. You do not shout, you do not explain, you do not beg. You simply remain calm. And this calm conveys a powerful message to others. I trust myself. My worth does not depend on your recognition. Silence is also an unexpected kind of power. People often expect a response, a reaction, or an explanation. But when you remain silent, their expectations are disrupted. They hope you will defend yourself, explain, beg. But when you simply remain silent, the balance of power shifts. They are left alone with themselves, prisoners of their own questions and anxieties. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your calm is stronger than others." Shouting, because calmness comes from self-confidence. A truly strong person's voice is often unheard, because they don't need to shout. Their presence alone is enough. Silence also shows your inner freedom. Only a strong person can choose not to react. A weak person shouts, defends themselves, explains, begs. But a strong person simply remains silent and continues on their path. This is the highest level. Inner tranquility. The Stoics called this ataraxia, the unshakable state of the soul. If you can use silence as a weapon in your life, no one will have power over you. Because through silence you show that whatever happens, your values remain unchanged. You are on your own path. And this path is the path of the greatest freedom that silence brings. Remember, silence is never weakness. On the contrary, it is the strongest message. When you speak, your words can be evaluated. When you remain silent, the whole world tries to understand your secret. Influence with your silence, because silence always wins. Yes, what I am telling you in this video is this. Never chase, never beg, never explain. These are not just rules. They are a life philosophy. Your worth does not depend on someone else's attention or acceptance. On the contrary, your worth depends on your own position, on how you manage your own strength. The Stoics teach us that true power is not in surrendering to emotions, but in mastering them. And the clearest expression of this power is silence. When you chase someone, you diminish your own worth. When you beg, you place your power in someone else's hands. When you explain, you often speak in vain. But when you remain silent, you protect yourself, you keep your power within. Because silence essentially says, I am enough for myself, and this is the strongest message. People often realize your value only after losing you. When they cannot hear your explanations, cannot reach you, they will search for ways to regain you, because silence creates a void, and that void becomes fear within them. And fear only reveals one thing: you are stronger and more valuable than they imagined. Marcus Aurelius said, your value does not depend on what others think of you. These words say it all. The more you base yourself on others' opinions, the weaker you become. But when you show your position through silence, no one can take your power away. Silence is also a sign of confidence in the future. You don't explain because you trust that the truth will eventually surface. You don't beg because you know new doors will open in your life. You don't chase because you understand that your path is open to those who want to walk with you and closed to those who want to leave. Remember, silence is your superpower. Use it wisely, because silence protects both your position and your freedom. True power lies not in shouting, but in remaining quiet. And through this silence you show the world, my worth is undeniable. Thank you for watching until this point. If you found this video interesting and helpful, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our future content on fascinating Stoic topics. See you in the next video.